Before we begin this story, let me ask you something. Do you believe that every action has a consequence? That somewhere, somehow, the universe keeps a record of everything we do. Some people call it fate, some call it destiny. But most of us know it as karma. And karma does not forget. It does not forgive easily. And most importantly, it does not arrive immediately. It waits. Silently. Patiently. And when the time is right, it strikes. Harder than anything you can imagine. Today's story is not just about a crime. It is about choices. It is about greed. And it is about how even the smartest minds can destroy themselves when they choose the wrong path. Because sometimes, the people you trust, the people you call family, are the ones who bring the biggest storm into your life. This is a story of betrayal, of a kidnapping, of a plan so perfect that it almost succeeded. But in the end, karma had the final say. So sit back and listen carefully, because this story might change the way you see people forever. What if I told you that sometimes the most educated people commit the darkest crimes? This is the story of ambition, greed, and a mistake that destroyed multiple lives. In the city of Newark, New Jersey, lived a successful businessman, Michael Carter. He had everything: a thriving business, a loving wife, Sophia, and 2 sons. His younger son, Ethan, was just 13 years old, bright, innocent, full of life. Every morning, he walked to the bus stop, just a short distance from his home. A simple routine, safe, predictable. Until one day, everything changed. On February 19th, Ethan left for school, just like any other day. But that evening, he never came back. At first, his parents thought maybe he was with a friend. But as time passed, fear began to grow. Michael rushed to the school, only to hear something that changed everything. Ethan never reached school that day. Panic took over, searches began, relatives gathered. And by night, a missing report was filed. Police started investigating. They checked bus stops, CCTV footage, shopping areas. But there was no trace, no clue, nothing. Days passed, but there was no call, no demand. And that silence was the most terrifying part. 3 days later, Michael received a call. An unknown number. He answered, with a racing heart. A cold voice said, "Are you worried about your son?" Michael froze. "Who are you?" And the reply came. "Your son is with us." The kidnappers demanded $2 million. And warned him, "Do not involve the police, or you will never see your son again." Even though Michael agreed, the police secretly began tracking. Multiple teams were formed, surveillance activated. But the criminals were smart. Their phone locations kept changing: New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania. It was almost impossible to track them. Michael couldn't arrange $2 million. After several calls, the deal was reduced to $300,000. He agreed, because for him, his son's life was priceless. The kidnappers kept changing locations, making him travel, again and again. They were testing him, watching him, making sure he wasn't followed. Finally, on a cold night, he was told to leave the money bag on the highway. He did exactly that. Within seconds, a car appeared, picked up the bag, and disappeared. But this time, the police were ready. They had placed a GPS tracker inside the bag. They followed the signal until suddenly it stopped. They found the bag empty. The kidnappers had outsmarted them. But the police did not give up. Using surveillance and informants, they tracked a suspicious car. Near the outskirts, they intercepted it. Inside the car, they found Ethan. Alive, terrified, but safe. And with him, 3 people were arrested. What shocked everyone was their identity. They were not criminals. They were engineers. Highly educated, from good families. One of them, Ryan Carter, was actually a relative of Michael. The others, Daniel Ross and Emily Brooks. They earned well, but lived extravagantly. Luxury, parties, expensive habits. And soon, money was not enough. They wanted quick money, easy money. And they chose the darkest path. Kidnapping. Ryan knew everything: Ethan's routine, his location, his habits. That made the crime easy. They used fake phones, advanced technology. Even changed locations to confuse the police. But their plan didn't end there. After getting the money, they had one final plan: to kill Ethan. Because a witness is always dangerous. They planned to throw his body away and disappear forever. But before they could, karma arrived. They were caught. Every plan failed. Every trick exposed. Their intelligence, their education, their ambition. Everything collapsed. They had everything: degrees, skills, opportunities. But they chose crime. And lost everything, because when ambition loses morality, it becomes destruction. And when crime begins, karma always follows. In the end, they got what they wanted: money, power, control. But only for a moment. Because what they didn't understand was this simple truth: you can run from people. You can hide from the law. You can even escape consequences for some time. But you can never escape karma. Because karma doesn't knock on your door. It breaks it down when you least expect it. They were educated, intelligent, capable of building great futures. But instead, they chose shortcuts. And shortcuts always lead to destruction. One wrong decision, one moment of greed, and their entire lives were finished. And the most tragic part: it didn't just destroy them. It traumatized an innocent child. It shattered a family. And left scars that will never heal. So the next time you think about taking a shortcut, the next time greed whispers in your ear, remember this story. Because no matter how smart you are, no matter how perfect your plan is, no matter how careful you think you've been, karma is always watching. And when it comes, it never misses. If this story made you think, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more real stories, and tell me in the comments, do you believe that karma always wins?